Alright, in this video, we're going to talk about how to find the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix using the augmented matrix with the identity matrix next to it, okay? We're going to use the same three rules that we used before, and those are row operations. We can switch any two rows. We can multiply any row by a constant other than 0, and I can add any two rows together to create new rows. Here's one strategy that I think would be helpful. And what this does is this helps eliminate using fractions early on. Not to say that you'll never get fractions, but this just kind of prolongs that so you don't have to deal with them throughout the rest of the matrix. And that strategy is, for the first part, is I'm going to get zeros in the first column first. Okay, that's going to be my first concern, unless I see a 1 that's already there for me, at which point I'll go ahead and use that. But the idea is I'm going to get the 0 in the first column first, then the second column, then the third column. Okay, and then I'm going to worry about getting the 1s at the very, very end. And that's hopefully going to help us avoid having to use fractions from early on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my augmented matrix. That is, put the identity matrix on the right side of the same size of your original matrix, right? And the first thing I'm going to see here is real easily I can switch the first two rows and get a 1 and a 0 in a good spot, right? So I got 1, 0, 3, 0, 1, 0, and in the next row 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 0. And I did nothing to that next row, so I'm going to leave it just like that, right? Okay, so now if I multiply this top row by -4, I end up getting -4, 0, -12, 0, -4, 0. I'm going to add it to the third row, so I'm going to rewrite it out to the side so it makes some addition a lot easier. And I'm just going to add those two rows together, right? So I want to leave my first row the exact same. I don't want to change it. I'm going to leave my second row the same. And now I'm going to add those two rows together. So I got 0, -3, -4, 0, -4, and 1. All right. So now if you'll notice in my first column, I have it set. I have these two zeros in the right spot. Next, let's go look at this next column and make sure I got zeros in the right spot here. Top 0 is good, so this bottom one, -3, needs to be 0. I can make that turn into 0 by multiplying that middle row by 3, getting 0, 3, 6, 3, 0, 0. And I'm going to rewrite the next row so it's real easy to write. And I'm going to add these two rows together. Leave the top two rows the same. Okay, and then add those next ones. So I have 0, 0, 2, 3, -4, and 1, right? So now I can see that I have the zeros here and here where I need them. Now in the last column, I need to go get zeros here. Now that didn't turn into be a 1. So if I multiplied by 1/2 right here all the way through, you could see I'd get a fraction there and a fraction there, and I'd have to deal with that. So I'm going to not worry about the 2 for right now. I'm going to go make this 3 and this 2 a 0. To do that, I'm going to multiply the bottom row by -1. So that gives me 0, 0, -2, -3, +4, -1. Add it to this middle row. I'm going to add those, so I leave the top row the same. Now my middle row is going to be 0, 1, 0, -2, 4, -1. Bottom row 0, 0, 2, 3, -4, 1. Okay, so now I'm getting much, much closer here. Now I have to deal with this 3 here. I got to turn that to a 0. So to do that, I'm going to multiply the bottom row by -3 and the top row by 2. So what you end up getting is 2, 0, 6, 0, 2, 0. Bottom row is 0, 0, -6, -9, 12, and -3. Okay, so now my new row is going to be, my new top row is going to be 2, 0, 0, -9, 14, -3. My middle row is going to be 0, 1, 0, -2, 4, -1. My bottom row is going to be 0, 0, 2, 3, -4, 1. Okay, I'm going to go back and use this original row right here instead of that new one here. All right, so now if you'll notice I have all the zeros in the right spot. The only thing I don't have is a 1 here and here. And I can take care of that very easily by multiplying each row by 1/2 of the top and bottom. So what that ends up giving me is my new matrix is 1, 0, 0, and then I have -9 over 2, 7, -3 over 2. My middle row is going to be 0, 1, 0, and that is going to be -2, 4, -1. And then my bottom row is 0, 0, 1, 3 over 2, -2, and 1/2. Okay? So this is the matrix I'm now concerned with. This is the inverse of matrix A. So now let's go write this A inverse equals -9 over 2, 7, -3 over 2. We have -2, 4, -1. We have 3 over 2, -2, and 1/2. So this is now my new inverse matrix A, and this is what we're looking for, okay? So real quick, again, we're going to turn this matrix into the augmented matrix by sitting it right next to the identity matrix. Then we're going to use the strategy of get all the zeros first in each of the columns, so first, second, then third. And then at the very end, if you'll notice, I avoided fractions all the way to the end until I had to multiply by the 1/2 to get my ones here and here. And that ended up giving me fractions in my final inverse matrix answer, but that's okay because I didn't have to deal with them throughout the rest of solving for the row reduced echelon form there. Okay, so hope this video helps. We'll see you in the next one.